What's up? My name is P-Swoop and I created your next Grandmaster Nightfall build. Look, Prismatic is amazing right now, and there's no doubt about it, but Void Titan might be what you need to run in order to secure your next GM completion. In this build, we have a ton of Weaken, Devour, so much ability energy, and an Overshield to top it all off. So let's jump right in and cover our exotic armor piece. In this build, we're using Second Chance, which has the perk Mirror Maiden's Reach. Gain a second charge of your shield throw melee. Your shield throw melee now weakens targets and becomes shield piercing, stunning barrier champions. When you stun a barrier champion with your shield throw melee, you regain a melee charge. Double melee charge is definitely my cup of tea, and getting weaken on top, that's exactly what I need. This exotic has never truly felt like it's been in the spotlight. Every season I try to do something with it, but it just falls flat. But this season, I cooked this season. You might be a little hesitant to use this because of the tracking of the void shields, because it really does suck sometimes. But I promise you, even if you just use it to proc and weaken on one enemy at a time, it's a banging option. And just a quick little reminder, this build is absolutely going to be good in every single piece of content without barrier champions, but is without a doubt the strongest when you're playing against barriers. Now that you get the gist of the exotic, let's cover the subclass itself. For the super, I really like Twilight Arsenal. It is legitimately my favorite super in Destiny right now. But you might want to be smart with this and be a bubble boy. If I was using bubble instead of Arsenal, we probably would have completed one or two more GMs that we lost because we were surrounded. And if I just had the bubble to pop, we would have been totally fine. But either or, weigh out your options and use what fits your playstyle better. In this Void subclass, your abilities are going to be either barricade of your choice, with Vortex Grenade and Shield Throw of course. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fragments. First up is Controlled Demolition. Hitting the target with a Void ability or Volatile Explosion makes them volatile. Further damage to a volatile target causes them to explode, granting you and nearby allies health when volatile targets explode near you. Controlled Demolition is fantabulous for taking care of groups of adds. Our two abilities that are already applying Weaken are going to be so much stronger now they can make enemies blow up each other. Then for our next aspect, we're running Offensive Bulwark. While you have an Overshield or you're inside World of Dawn, your grenades should recharge significantly faster. You have increased melee range and damage, and melee final blows will restore a small portion of your Overshield and extends its duration. For those of you that don't know, your shield throw hits will grant you an Overshield, and we're going to have a ton of Overshield, so having increased melee damage and restoring some HP, it's perfect. But the true reason we're running this is because that grenade recharge rate is 400% just by having an Overshield. Like, how the fuck? That is an insane recharge rate that we're going to have nearly 24/7, allowing you to be a grenade spamming machine. Okay, let's talk fragments. First up is Echo of Undermining, which will grant your Vortex Grenades the ability to weaken. Yeah, so both of our abilities are applying Weaken. Look, don't thank me. No need to thank me. Just doing my job. Echo of Harvest. Killing weakened enemies spawns a Void Breach and an Orb of Power. Yeah, so this will allow you to generate 2 Orbs of Power and a Void Breach from your grenade kill, which is just so beast. Then we have Echo of Starvation. Picking up an Orb of Power or Void Breach grants Devour for 5 seconds. We're going to be generating a whole lot of these. And in case you didn't know, because I'm going to be honest, I damn sure forgot, you get 7.5% grenade energy from every single kill while you have Devour, on top of the 100 HP you get, and it'll auto-refresh itself when you get a kill. What a stupid buff. Then our last fragment is Echo of Provision. Grenade ability damage grants melee energy once per damage instance. This one's a little too sciencey for me, but you'll get a good chunk, around 30% energy towards your melee if you have an enemy getting damage in your vortex the entire duration. Are you starting to understand how strong this build is? I mean, the seasonal artifact and mods make it that much stronger, but let's go ahead and cover some weapon suggestions first. Lemon Arc, I love it. Use it. I don't care if you don't like bows. This thing is a healing AD eraser that can also stun overloads, adding another stun into your loadout. But to be honest, you just need a void weapon. It doesn't have to be anything insane, but the seasonal artifact will make sure it feels extremely strong. In all honesty, you can pair together Elsie's rifle and Edge Transit and you'll be in for one hell of a good time. But then you also have Tractor Cannon as an option. I personally love Tractor Cannon. Not only can it stun overloads, but it can also apply the strongest form of weaken in the game, allowing you to deal 30% extra damage to enemies. I need to use this more. It is extremely good, but I know it can be risky being that close to enemies. And then for my final suggestion, we have Leviathan's Breath. This thing already hits like a truck and can stun unstoppables. So if you want to completely erase champions and deal absurd amounts of boss damage, equip this bad boy. I cannot believe I just suggested 2 bows in one build. Who have I become? Alrighty, let's go ahead and cover some of the super fun artifact mods that we were blessed with this season. In the third column, you have 2 must-haves. First up is Elemental Siphon. Rapid final blows with a kinetic weapon or a weapon matching your equipped super create an elemental pickup that matches your equipped super. And secondly is Press the Advantage. Breaking a combatant shield grants increased weapon stability, handling, reload speed. The first one couldn't be more obvious. The more Void Breaches the better. And with Press the Advantage, a little stat boost never hurt anyone. In the fourth column, we have another set of must-haves. First up is counter energy. When you or a member of your fire team stuns a champion, you gain energy for your least charged ability. This is so nice in GMs where you're going to be dealing with a ton of champions. Next up is Void Hegemony. Next up is Void Next up is Void Hegemony. While you have a Void or Prismatic subclass equipped, defeating weakened targets provides a small Void overshield. Nearly every single enemy we're killing is going to be weakened, allowing for the easiest overshield of your life. And then don't forget about that 400% grenade recharge we get for just having an overshield. And then our final two mods are in the fifth column, and they are Expanding Abyss and Shield Crush. Shield Crush will grant you increased melee and damage while you have a Void Overshield, making this an extremely obvious choice. And then Expanding Abyss, this is the ultimate cherry on top of the entire build. This will make weakened targets take even more damage. And like I said earlier, nearly every single enemy will be weakened. You'll be dealing a massive amount of damage to these enemies. Your normal 15% damage boost goes to 25. Now that we just about covered everything, let's go ahead and cover everyone's favorite part. Armor mods! Yay! I know. It's the same stuff every time. I'm sorry, y'all. As you can see with the armor mods on screen, we have our normal siphon mods on our helmet, plus a heavy ammo finder. Then on your arms, we're going to be generating orbs of power from our grenade kills, while also getting a little bit of melee energy when we use our grenade. And on top of that, a grenade kickstart. It might have seemed like you wanted a melee kickstart, but I think with 2 charges and insta regen from our barrier champs, you shouldn't have any issues. Plus, it can be hard to get a kill with shield throw sometimes, so I find it easier to count on Vortex for that. Then for your chest piece, grab yourself some resistant mods, and then a charged up so we can carry that extra armor charge for our kickstart. Your legs are equipped with Invigoration and Innervation for grenade energy and melee energy on orb pickups. And then a stacks on stacks so we can get an additional armor charge from every single orb pickup. I was debating on switching stacks for elemental charge, but 1 armor charge every 2 breaches doesn't seem nearly as good as 2 armor charge per orb of power. Bungie really needs to fix the mod system right now. It is just so boring. I hate talking about it. And then to wrap it all up, we have a Bomber and Outreach for ability energy when we use our barricade, as well as a Reaper mod to generate an additional orb of power after using our barricade. Okay, look, this build is actually good, like unironically good, and it holds its own in higher end content. Plus, you'll become an amazing team player for applying so much weaken while also healing your allies while blowing up volatile enemies. But try to do yourself a favor and play with some friends when you're running this build, because when you throw your shield to pop a barrier champ and someone pops barrier champ before you do, you don't get your charge back, and at least they're weakened, but it just kind of sucks. So just talk to some people, make some friends. Do y'all think the other subclasses were worried about Prismatic coming in and taking all their jobs? I like to think of Stasis as a really racist subclass because it doesn't get along with Even in Prismatic, it was like, I'm now working with that solar fella. He is not shattering my ice crystals with that goddamn consecration. I swear to God, they better not make me work with him. And then we had Void pretending to be welcoming and loving by offering a brand new fragment and a champion stunning grenade. But in reality, it's the worst grenade possible and the most dog shit fragment Void has to offer. Sorry, that was going to be my intro, but it came off a little too strong. And you know what? Thank you guys for watching. See you.